Welcome back to Revisiting History. I'm glad to be back on the trail. We were at the Powerhouse today and we're going to check it out, see what we got. Apparently we got some dinosaurs as well as some other cool science stuff. Let's go check it out, man. Alright, so as we're approaching, we got Lore's Artisan. It's like some sort of shop right here. We got a big old smokestack on a cloudy day. We're at the Powerhouse. Let's go check it out. Time probably doesn't match up by the time this is released, but we're here to see this thing. It's the last day it's in town. I love me some dinosaurs. Ancient history. Let's go. So in the 1880s, we had the war of the currents between Edison, the alternating current, and then the direct current. And here we can see the rotor magnets inside of here. The magnets would create a charge, and then it would power through the steam. Like I said, this thing is massive, but you can see here a little bit of information about it. But yeah, I didn't even know this was made by Tesla. It's amazing. The pterosaurs are really, really interesting. They used to actually use like their elbows as pole vaults to kind of like launch themselves into the air. Over here we see flying in a fur coat. Apparently this specific Sortus colossus was covered in a fur when they found it in samples. So not more like the reptilians, but you know, more like a mammalian, I guess. And over here we have the changing of the earth. So the funny thing is a lot of movies get the late Jurassic and the late Triassic and the Cretaceous period mixed up. They move the dinosaurs all into one movie and it's just weird. But this is a pretty good breakdown of how things worked. Where the continents were, what was going on. As you can see here, I mean, most of these fossils have been, you know, deposited in places like China, Brazil, and even in Germany to some degrees. It's kind of interesting that they're very flightful, but they don't have a major range as opposed to some other birds. I can't fly. Look at this tree. This is just kind of a random one, but it's really interesting. Over here, in 1881, the tree was established. The Powerhouse opened in 1893, so not far from when this tree was planted. In 1920, women get the right to vote. That's over here. Then we get back, the Powerhouse shut down, and Neil Armstrong walks on the moon right here. So that's an amazing way to break things down. I love seeing history through trees. Pretty cool. They have a full honeycomb with bees and such in here. Apparently the queen has a red mark on the back, but I'm not seeing the queen anywhere. There's multiple sides, but you can see them doing their thing. Some of the combs are filled, some honey on there. It's funny, this anticipates our next stop, which is should be pretty cool, but look at that. See here we got a normal pterodon, about 21 feet. This is a smaller one, but you can see how big it would have normally have been based on fish and squid. Location Wyoming, South Dakota, Kansas, so all over the United States. Here we have the Thasodromia, so you can see the width of the length of the jaw, but then the width is actually very, very, very thin. And then here's another one over here. Like you said, all these are pterosaurs, but here's a very, very strange textured one. In fact, it almost looks like a whale's feeding area. And then over here is another pterodon. So it shows you that the pterodons, just like birds today, come in many, many very different species, very different looks, but still very, very, very amazing. We got the pterodactylus, again, smaller than most people, about the size of a bird. And you can see how big these are. They're not particularly large compared to my hand, but very, very detailed and beautiful. So what are the takeaways? Sometimes science can be hidden in places you wouldn't expect. Nikola Tesla, pterosauruses, boiler rooms. We got to see it all. I'm coming back. I'm going to try and see if we can see the boiler room in full, get it recorded. Thank you for coming with me and revisiting history.
Bolt here is a tube that goes all the way to the back and it's tilted a little bit, so the water would be at the back, the steam would rise to the front. This just gives you surface area for the heat. It would go up to, it's kind of hard to see, some steam drums up at the top.
Okay.
So this was just a door, you could take this off and inspect or clean the ash out.
What's in there?